Today's show is brought to you by EPOS Gaming Audio. With a comprehensive lineup of both wired and wireless headsets, gaming amplifiers, microphones, and webcams, EPOS has everything you need to experience the power of audio.
The closed headset allows you to tap into exceptionally detailed audio and seals out ambient noise, while the open version delivers natural high-fidelity audio with an incredible soundstage. Both headsets include a magnetic detachable microphone and a sleek design that has no wild RGB configurations, just good design.
Listeners can save 15% by visiting www.eposaudio.com/gaming and entering the code EPOSFRIEND15 at checkout. That's EPOSFRIEND 15 at checkout. Check messages.
Welcome back to the TokyoFreshPodcast, only on the Tokyo Beat Network. My name is David. I'm here with Jordan. I kicked the fucking camera, so all of my centering of it doesn't matter now.
Did you not run the ad?
I ran the ad.
Oh wow! I'm in my own world.
You need to get your shit together.
I was busy talking about Chinese restaurants and the children that work in them,
And not the people who are giving us money.
No, exactly. We have a guest today. We got Luke, Nomadic Gaijin. Thanks for coming all the way down, dude.
Yeah, no, this is cool. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you guys.
Nah, dude. Thank you. Do you want to turn that fan off, by the way? You good?
Oh, yes, I do, actually. That's a good idea.
See this? All the little things.
I'm out.
Get my shit together.
I'm out here ignoring the ads, but that's okay because David's out here ignoring the fans. There we go. We're all good. We got a weird midweek podcast this week, but we're excited to have a guest on. So I'm gonna be in a good mood this entire episode. Luke, give yourself a little introduction. What do you do in Japan? What are you doing hanging out here,
What am I doing?
What are you doing here, man?
What
What
am
are
I
you doing here, Luke?
Like I mentioned to Victor, what horrible life decisions have led you to be in
We
my
gotta ask
room?
every guest. We're gonna ask that question. What horrible life decisions have brought you to live in Japan?
That's a really good question.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, for starters, I was talking a little bit earlier, but I've been here for 16 years, so it's quite a long time.
Fucking hell!
Senpai.
Yeah.
Fuck me. 16 years.
That's a decade on you and me.
Yeah.
You've been here longer than my youngest brother has been alive.
Yep.
That's fucking
Fuck.
correct. Crazy. Holy
So
shit.
yeah, and at this point, I guess I'm pretty settled here. I bought a house about
Oh wow.
7 years ago. I think.
Congratulations, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Got some doggies.
Ooh.
PR, all that stuff. So
Oh, you got PR as well?
Yeah.
Oh my. You are set.
There you
I'm
go.
pretty settled.
I'm gonna make a note of things that are coming to me as you're talking. Because
Sure.
as you said, I've bought a house. I was like, note to self, how the fuck did you buy a house?
The craziest part was that I didn't have PR at the time, and so
Seriously?
they didn't even look at me. Like once they found out that I didn't have PR, they were kind of just completely focused on my wife.
Wow.
That meant she had to take the whole loan, which is
That's horrible.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's pretty typical, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The second they find out you're foreign, they're just like, "Psst, bye.
Well, they
I don't wanna
they
fucking
asked.
deal
They
with
were,
you."
they were like, "Do you have do you have AJCAN? Do you have permanent residence?" And I said no, and it was literally just no more. Just didn't
Seriously?
even talk to me anymore.
Well, you
Yeah.
don't have money, so fuck off.
That's like
but you don't know that. Hey,
that's like classic Japan. They're like,
Yeah.
No, but 100%. That is
Yeah.
exactly like the thought process. They're like, we can't do anything with you, like
Yeah.
at all.
and to some extent, I think they can't, because I think certain bank loans, like even like phone loans, bank loans, anything that works on like a payback over time scale, whatever, it's all based on like how long your visa is, or if you have a visa.
Right,
So if like
yeah,
a
yeah,
loan,
yeah.
like a big like mortgage or whatever, that is like a 10-year commitment.
Well, especially like if you're looking at like you've been here for 16 years, but if you're here for even like 6 or something, and you still have like a 1-year visa every year, they're gonna look at you and be like, you could be gone tomorrow, so like I don't want to deal with
I
you.
find that so weird. Like you've been here for like 16 years, and you're like, no, but your visa says 1 year. So how can we be sure?
Yeah, it's I think just people have screwed over the system so many times.
No, it
is
makes sense, yeah.
what I'd have to assume. You know?
Yeah.
Someone just walks away from a 30-year loan or something, and then they're like, "Damn." But
I have first-hand experience of that, honestly.
I mean, it's not like there's not 50 million different houses that are just
Mhm.
abandoned on the fucking street, and completely empty.
It's not like
Just
there's
give me one of those. They're basically free.
They're basically. It's not like there's an entire industry currently budding about people buying abandoned houses, doing them up, and then living in those abandoned houses. Just because
there's at least like 4 or 5 foreigners I've seen like online that are like doing entire like YouTube series of like, I bought this shitty house and now it's like super fucking nice because I renovated it.
I know 3 of them personally
Well,
who recently or have bought shitty houses, and they're like, I'm gonna now do these houses up. I've gone to go and see one of these houses, and I'm like, yeah. This is shit. This is a shitty house. It looks like shit. Good luck. Like, it's a whole thing. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I think.
Yeah.
But I've had first-hand experience. What you're saying, people screwing over the system. First-hand experience. Me and my landlord now, we're boys. Love this guy. He bought me like a mass amount of like bevies. You're good.
So much. Sorry.
No worries.
It's so hot.
Unfortunately, I don't got.
We got to turn the fan off. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think that's gonna help you. You want to keep that closed. It's gonna be hot as fuck outside.
Yeah,
Let's close these windows.
It's like the hottest day of the year. I feel like today.
Is it that bad?
It's pretty bad.
Fuck me, dude.
I'll crack this open. The AC's on in the other room.
Oh, good man. That was certainly nice of them. You good? It's a whole thing. I feel you. But no, my landlord's a babe. My landlord's an absolute fucking amazing guy. Brings me beer. We're really good friends. Like, absolute fucking cool guy. But then when I went to move into the house, the landlord was like, no more foreigners. And I was like, bro, that's what?
That's messed up.
That's messed up. Because he was like, yeah, no more foreigners. We've had enough foreigners here. No more foreigners. And then when you work, you're asking, like, what's going on? Why is that? You know, I speak Japanese. Like, come on, man. Like, I know the culture. You know, I'm dating some women. Come on, let me live here. And he's like, no. And then we worked out what it was. It's because literally the last person that lived in the apartment that just moved out lived in the downstairs apartment. And it was like a girl. And she left out of nowhere. She just left. Went back to, I don't know if she's from Italy. I don't know point where. She went back to like her home country and then left a mountain of trash in her like balcony space. But she was first floor, just in that big space there.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I live in as everyone knows, I live in like Kogane, and Kogane is like strict when it comes to like trash separation.
Oh, do you have to buy the city bags?
You gotta buy.
Like
yep.
Oh, my first place was like that.
Bro.
They were like 100 yen each.
Yep. Bro,
they're not cheap.
Yeah.
Mine are like 300 yen. For like, and you got to buy the yellow ones or the blue ones, and then there's like a certain.
Why the fuck did I want to move there again?
It's a great city. So this is the thing. So there's that, but so you're like, oh no, I had to pay money for these bags. I'm so sad. During the pandemic, did your city do anything for you? Did your city give you money? Did they like hang out?
I mean, we all got money from.
No. I mean like
what's-his-face?
your city.
From what's his face?
Yeah, from Abe, Sugar, Kuzami,
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Kurobawa.
I mean, we've had like 3 different fucking prime ministers.
We have, yeah.
Since Abe left.
So like everyone's individual cities didn't do shit for them, like during the pandemic.
They give you money?
I got like Niman.
The fuck?
They just gave us money. They were like
It was
randomly.
in your postbox.
No,
Like,
legit,
oh, hey.
legit. Like the
It's cash in
Just
here.
going around with a
Yeah.
stack of
Yeah.
Ichiban bills.
Yeah.
The lady sorting the mail.
just like Niman for you, Niman for you, Niman. So what happened was they had this they were like, hey, our city, we need like revitalization. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you these special. This is a voucher, and the voucher's worth like a month. Go and revitalize the local economy. Go and buy some stuff. So
Okay.
So the first time I just bought like a Starbucks mug and then like a bunch of like coffee beans, and I was like, I don't think this is what my mayor had in mind.
Probably not.
And then the
Giving
second,
it to a large corporation.
yeah, I went to a
based in
corporation,
Japan.
and I was like, oh no, this is not what he had in mind. So the second time I was like, okay, this time we're gonna do it right. And I just bought groceries from like a local like farmer's market. I was like,
nice.
I've done it. I've revitalized the economy.
Single-handedly.
I've single-handedly saved the city. The city's on fire behind me. I've done it, boys. Yeah, it was great. That's why I'm like, my city's better. It's cool. It's a good city. But long story short, I know what you mean. The guy who lived in the girl who lived in the apartment before me like fucked it up for everyone who follows. Then I moved in, smoothed it over, and now there's like, one more foreigner living in my accommodation. It's like a tall white guy. It's cool.
So you've been here for a long ass time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in like when you first came over, because it's definitely a lot way before we were. So that
yeah.
would have been what
2007,
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2007? What was I doing?
Yeah.
I was fucking in high school.
Bro, I was watching
I
like
think.
episode 7 of Naruto.
7? Yeah, it would have been like
Disgusting.
last year of high school.
Wow.
Fuck. Dude, that's a long ass time. So like, I don't know. I'm interested because like I came here in high school, like in 2008, I think. So I have fond memories of like that time when I was here. What was it like living here? Because I'm sure that a lot of shit has changed since then.
Oh yeah, I mean, when I first came, we had to do the re-entry permits and things like that. So if you wanted to leave the country, you had to go apply for a permit.
A re-entry permit? Fuck
Like
that.
and you could get a single use or multi-use, and yeah. So like, just 2 days you gotta take off work, right? You gotta go in Monday through Friday. So you gotta go in, you gotta apply for this re-entry permit, and then go back a week or two later to pick it up. So it was
Fuck that.
they were like, I think about $40 or $50 or something like that.
Wow.
So
What the fuck? That's just straight up a scam.
oh yeah.
the
So
fuck?
around the 2011 earthquake and everything. So I was here for that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
When that happened, they kind of eased the restrictions, and then they stopped making us do that. But yeah, I feel like things were a lot harder, just as far as being a foreigner living in Japan.
Right.
But getting out here was a lot easier. I came for a year, went back, and then came back soon after. Both times
Right.
with big companies who hired me in LA and helped me with my, set up the visa, and then, get me a discount flight out here and things
Oh,
like that.
hell
That-
yeah.
Because that was kind of like
Company housing, things like that.
because I know this because my cousin was here previous to that time.
bad.
Like he was here end of the 90s, start of the 2000s,
Yeah.
which is like kind of like the end of what is considered to be
The
the
bul-
golden
yeah.
age of like being a foreigner coming here when you could like make
Crime, yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah.
You could do. I mean, let's be real. Companies still doing the exact same kind of fucking crime they were doing back then, but
yeah,
you were
hell
better
yeah.
paid as a foreigner because you were a lot more. Like you were just rarer, or like
Yeah,
more
yeah,
in
yeah.
demand, right? Like you could work at an Eikaiwa and make like
Bank.
a good
Yeah.
amount of money.
She's like the only
Because
foreigner
people-
working there.
Yeah, because people
literally.
were like, "Oh shit! Like you're the only teacher in the entire fucking city."
Yep.
So if you charge me like Rokumon for a fucking hour, sure I'll pay it because who else am I gonna talk to, right? So at that point you can make mad bank.
We got to go back to that.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like,
the government and a lot of companies were paying people to go to lessons as well.
Fuck, that's
But
right.
they had
yes,
they had
were.
to have a certain attendance, like I think 80% attendance. But so some people, they worked so much they couldn't actually make it to that attendance, and they had to pay for it themselves.
Ooh.
Working so hard for the company that you don't get sponsored by the company to learn English.
That's so
yeah.
stupid. I
Yeah.
love Japan. Oh my god, that's so
I don't know.
dumb.
I'd be okay if someone paid me to go to Japanese lessons. That'd be all right.
I'll be good with that. I would
Fuck
love
yeah,
that.
All right, sure.
That's the problem. You're working so hard for the Japanese company, you can't afford time wise to go
yeah,
to
to
lessons.
Yeah. And then you have to
Yeah.
pay for it all anyways.
I don't know. At the end of the day, if I'm learning another language, I'm probably going to be better off than any of the horse shit that the company's doing.
Oh,
for me
100%. 100%. That's insane. So basically 16 years ago, what did you actually do originally when you came to
So
Japan? Like the first time?
both times I worked for big Eikawa companies. So the first one was
right.
Eon. It was
Yeah,
still
Okay,
around.
yeah.
Second time was Geos, and they went bankrupt while I was working
Oh,
there.
oh my God. My cousin worked for Geos too, and he left when they went bankrupt.
What?
So they went bankrupt, and then another company bought them out, and I decided to find another job because I felt like it was getting worse and worse, and from what I heard, it was the right decision.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've heard some fucking horror stories about where they're like, "Oh, we owe people like thousands and thousands of like dollars," and they just said, "Haha, fuck you, we're out," and they just pocketed it all and just fucking ran.
Wow.
Yeah, I only worked for the other company for about 3 months, and they didn't pay my taxes or anything. So then I got in all this trouble later.
course,
and
yeah.
I had to pay like way more than I should have had to. They took it out of my salary for like a year or something.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just crazy.
Just skimmed it off the top, like
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was it was so much. Like I don't remember exactly, but for 3 months of work,
Right.
it's like damn.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
'Cause it's based like a yearly thing, right? If I remember correctly.
something
Even if
like
you
that.
work like 3 or 4 months in the year, they're like, well, you owe us a year of taxes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
don't,
that's-
it's not the best situation to be in, like in that situation. Oh, it's horrible.
I mean, but you don't have a choice, right? Like,
No.
you need
I
to
couldn't-
eat.
Yeah.
right.
yeah, it's literally like the way the tax system is. It's very like fine tuned, but it's fine tuned in the Japanese tax system. It's fine tuned in a way that it doesn't allow any margin outside of that tuning.
Right.
So they're like, oh no, this person is like a slightly deviant to what is in the fine tuning.
We got to fudge it because they
Yeah.
came on January 2nd,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
technically the year ends on January 1st.
Yes, but instead of fudging it, they go, no,
No, we'll just charge you a whole year.
we're charging you a year. Fuck you,
Fucker.
because this works. Fuck you. That's
Yeah.
why when I was like, I like changed job like halfway through the year, and my tax fucking freaked out. Like they were like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I've changed my job, and they were like, we've sent you a book of like tax things to pay because like you're not in employment. And I'm like, no, I'm in employment again. Like I was out of employment for like 3 minutes, and they were like, so what? Wait, so what do we do? But we've sent you the book, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm already paying taxes. Like check the system. But we sent you the book, but I'm paying, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was like 3 minutes of me going, Daijoubu, and them going, I go, you good? I'm like, they do not sound good. I think it's had a crisis,
anytime
bro.
You deal with the shaksho or whatever, it's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. My shaksho was okay though, but it's it could be worse.
And then the idea that your city tax and all that kind of stuff is based off of your previous year's salary.
Bro.
So when I walked away, I was a principal of international kindergarten.
Oh,
up till 2 years ago. So,
Fucking hell.
So yeah,
That's cool.
And it was good salary, but when I left, I still had to pay for the next
You
next
do.
year. I had to
Right.
pay
Yes.
very
All the
high
tax.
fees for
Yes.
everything,
Yeah.
and it's kind of backwards. I feel.
Yeah, it does make sense. Your first year, you have that cushion. I always say to people, like, your first year, you're not.
That was nice.
It's very nice because you're not paying any tax basically. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you have
it's
that.
party time at that
It's
point,
party time,
right?
yeah,
Like,
honestly.
fuck yeah, all that tax is now drinking money. Hell yeah.
Bro, and we drank with that drinking money. It was
Oh, yeah.
fucking fantastic. And then the second year comes and you're like, hold on a minute, sir. Why am I broke?
Pretty
What the
much.
fuck is tax and why do I have to
Residence
pay it?
tax? What the fuck is this?
I'm not even a
I
resident.
don't live here.
I don't live here. I'm visiting for an extended period of
City
time.
tax. What?
I don't even like the city. Why should I pay tax? Where's my tax
They
going?
don't fucking fix anything for me, so
Nothing's fixed. I'm very upset. I don't mind paying city tax. I like my city currently, so I'm like, I'm paying city tax, and I'm like, you know what? Most of this comes back to me anyway in a rebate at the end of the year, so it's perfectly okay. Like legit, the amount of money I get back from my city is fucking stupid. Like I think that's the one thing I do like about Japan is that I know from the American tax system, it's like you do it yourself, something like that. You gotta like guess.
You're talking about with the IRS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta like guess how much you owe them or something, and like
Yeah, and if you're rich, you can afford to have people guess
For you.
Yeah, for you in a very good way that makes you not have to pay many taxes.
see, I need that. I need a rich person's income so I can pay someone so I can pay less taxes. It all makes sense in the end. Don't worry, guys. I'm writing this
Bro.
down. Yeah.
So you left your job two years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
So is that when you started like doing streaming and stuff like full time? Because I
Yeah.
did like a little digging on like your YouTube channel.
Good man.
Because like Twitch,
How
I
dare
can't go
you.
back because there's like VODs don't go back like 2 years.
Yeah,
I
You
was
can't do
I
that.
was seeing how far I could get back in VODs, and it does not go
It's
back.
March 28th,
It-
2020.
Yeah. That's where I got as well.
So that's pretty close.
It's
to
close though. Yeah. 2
2 and
years.
a half-ish
Hmm.
years. So yeah, that seems to track.
Yeah, I started. So I started my YouTube channel about a little over 3 years ago,
Oh wow.
and because I wanted to do it for a long time, but
Mm.
it wasn't just making that initial effort to put a video out. You know,
It's hard.
right.
Yeah.
I worked on that first video. It's a terrible video. I'm trying like Sakura food, and I look super awkward and nervous. But I spent months making that video.
Oh
like,
yeah.
because I had to
yeah.
learn how to edit.
Yep.
And I made a video and I didn't use mics, and it was awful, and the lighting was bad. So I had to.
This sounds
Yeah.
We
far too
know
simple.
this.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was already doing that, and we had to close the school for a couple months, so I had all this free time to
Mm.
basically get into it, and it was kind of a nightmare running a school during a pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
We're a very event based school, so then I started moving everything to like online. You know, we wouldn't have a big event. We'd have a smaller event, and we would broadcast it. You know, live
that's
stream
nice.
it
Yeah.
and take videos. But some families didn't like that. They're like, "Oh, we want to have a big event." I'm like, "But literally, the city's telling me I can't do
We
that."
literally can't do that.
Yeah.
Stop fucking around.
And they signed a petition, like there's just a small group of them. Signed a petition. We'll take responsibility if something happens. Like, no. If something happens, I take
I take responsibility.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
Yeah.
The fuck?
that's my job. Is
Yeah, I don't know if you can exactly sign a waiver for that.
No.
Like, don't worry. If someone dies, that's on me.
That's all on me.
That's all-
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
on me.
And this was, at a time we
Stupid.
were hearing people were dying all over the place. So
Yeah.
we didn't
Right.
know what was going to
You
happen.
didn't want to leave
yeah.
the fucking house at that point.
No, you're locked in. Yeah.
So
That's so silly.
yeah, and things just got really bad with the head office. They did a lot of shady stuff, like
Classic.
they to get more money from the government. They claimed they had more employees than they did, and things like that. And then they were asked.
Classic move.
They even asked me.
Classic move.
They asked me to like. If they approach you, got to say this, and if the government asks you these questions, it was really shady.
You ain't lying to the government. You're
Yeah, when your company starts asking
Crazy.
you, hey, can you lie to us
Yeah.
legally on record
Yeah.
that we are doing shady shit and just not take the fall? Because like
You're
nothing
mad.
happens to them if
No.
they take the fall. They just go Moshiwaki because I'm a Santa whoopsie
Yeah,
doodle.
yeah,
and
yeah.
That's
That's
right?
it.
Meanwhile, you it's like get the fuck out the country.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
deported. You're fucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done medium-sized crime. You
Yeah.
now can
Yeah.
never come back to Japan.
So-
You're now
Right. Yeah, so it got they started doing all this really shady stuff too with me, like trying to, when like force me out, but they couldn't like really force me out. So
Been
they
there.
started making it worse and worse until it was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave because there's no point. I don't want to be here
got
anymore.
sent
So
to the company gulag.
The gulag, bro.
Yep. So yeah, it was about that time I started Twitch, and so yeah, I've just been doing YouTube and Twitch, and I actually started with streaming on Reddit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh
I think
shit.
actually, weirdly enough, I saw one of your streams on Reddit before I even knew like
Yeah.
people were doing it, and I was like, people do this? Like I never actually seen
Yeah.
because I know there's like a couple of people who are
Mm.
doing streaming like before this, but like maybe a handful, like 2 or 3. So just seeing it, this was when like Reddit had they had like the live feature, and it would just like sometimes pop up on the front page, just like someone's random stream.
Well, that's really kind of what jump started me too. So I saw someone doing that, so I did it, and because it just shows up on the front page, so there'd be like 100 viewers, and suddenly there'd be like 5,000 viewers.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
and then
yeah,
it would
yeah.
drop back down. So like there was that bump, and then they would follow my YouTube, and they're the ones that told me, hey, you should start a Twitch, and I was like, oh, I don't really game all that much, and like no, there's an IRL you can stream, and all right, I'll try it, and so then I started, and
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Dude, that's impressive, honestly. I think it does take something like that to really push you in the direction of like, okay, I'm gonna do this, And I've always said it is like it's consistency, but it's also a little bit of luck when it comes to
Yeah, I do consider myself very lucky to have been in that position.
Oh,
And,
100%. But it's still it's never just 100% luck to be completely honest. Like you have to prepare. You got to like work out what you're doing. You got to be like good on camera, fun on camera. I think I know I've seen your Reddit streams as well. Because I remember clicking on the Reddit stream and
That's
being
so funny.
no, because I remember you doing like a walking around stream.
Yep,
It was like you walking in like a city, and I'm like, where is this city? Where is this? And I found myself watching, trying to work out where it was.
Yep.
But then the minute I was like, I know where this is. Okay, I'm done now. And I just like went back to what I was doing on Reddit. But I was there for like a good 20 minutes. Like,
Yeah, I think that's what
what
happens.
the fuck is this?
Yeah. Like,
So-
yeah.
What was setting that up like? Because
True.
I know now like it's not common, but people have like here's like the set gear you need to go
right.
and walk around, right? Back then when you were starting, I mean, I don't imagine that was such common knowledge
No.
because it's like, oh, I need batteries now. I need a camera. I need my phone to be able to give me Wi-Fi or have a hotspot or something or
yep.
whatever to make sure that my connection doesn't look like shit and I'm streaming it.
Yep.
480p.
You need the entire streaming backpack basically. In a
Do you
sense.
have like just a big rig you wear and go around?
Yeah, I do both. Now that it's really hot, I've kind of moved back towards the streaming bag, but it's heavy. I mean, it can run like 17 hours. So,
Oh,
Jesus.
shit.
I mean, I stream
Christ.
typically like 12, 15 hours in a day.
Are you not afraid that like the battery's gonna explode and then you're just gonna?
That's crazy.
I'm more afraid the cops are gonna stop me and like wonder what the hell I've got in my bag. It looks like a bomb. It does.
No, I was thinking that as well. Yeah,
You don't need to give them an excuse. They'll
Yeah.
fucking do it anyway.
it's true. It's true. It's true.
But no, I started. So that was the beauty of Reddit was that the quality was such crap. I don't know if you remember, but it was portrait. It was very low quality.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I already had a gimbal for YouTube. So I just went out with my phone and just started walking around. And then when I tried with YouTube and Twitch, I soon discovered that you need a lot more things.
Yes.
Like, I was running out of data because we didn't have all the unlimited plans quite yet. Like now there's Rakuten and Docomo Unlimited, which I use, but I was still on like SoftBank sort of semi unlimited, so it's unlimited, but it
It's
slows
unlimited
down
until it's not.
Well, it slows down considerably after a certain amount.
Yeah,
so.
'cause it's like I have that on like my phone. I get like 10 gigs, but then after 10, it's like it runs like fucking dial-up. It's fucking garbage.
I have
You might as well not have it.
I have 100, and then it runs like garbage. And
That's
even
a lot.
it's not enough.
For streaming, it's not.
No, not for streaming, but I mean, like, you're not streaming on your phone.
Hey, don't tell me what to do. Hey, you need 100 gigs. You know, I'm out here doing things. Nah, I need it. I'm like working a lot, so you need 100 gigs basically.
I guess for you, if you're using it for work, that makes sense.
Yeah. There's always something to do. Like you was on the train editing, like trying to like hotspot your phone to your computer to get like work done and shit. So like I always need like 100 gigs. And then by the end of the month, I'm like, oh, I have 98.2 gigs left. Fuck. Last month I drained my battery my Wi-Fi completely. I'm just like, I'm living in like fucking Edo period. This sucks. Like, I have no connections.
I know, that's kind of what it was like and stuff. It's like every month was, okay, now I need to get another router. I need to get another battery. Dude. I used to stream at that time. I didn't know how long I was going to be out of work, so I was trying to maximize my time, and I was doing.
You should.
I would start with a Reddit stream in the morning, and then I would do YouTube for an hour or two, and then I would do Twitch the rest of the night.
Fuck.
So it was like all in one go. Like, so I would take a break and let my an ice pack, trying to cool down the phone, charging it up, and it was once it got to summer, it was just getting so difficult to stream. So
it's horrible.
I moved into the bag setup.
Yeah, man. Like I can imagine like walking around a day like today.
No,
like you'd fucking die.
So I often had to go to like like hide out in shopping malls and let it cool down.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, like over time, it just I was able to get all the gear and things I needed, and yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think it's a very. I've always said that when it comes to YouTube versus Twitch, I've always said Twitch has a higher entry point. Like it's harder to start on Twitch than it is for YouTube.
Right.
Is what I've always said. But as you've done both in a sense, do you think that's true? Do you think it's harder to start on Twitch than YouTube?
Well, because of Reddit, like I started a Discord to have like a place to notify people when I'm doing streams, and then that grew fairly quickly. And so when I started Twitch, it was actually someone else on Twitch had found my Reddit stream and came into my Discord and said, hey, you should be doing this on Twitch. It's better for you. And kind of showed me the ropes. And so then already starting, I had I think Twitch without some previous, like if you have a big Instagram or something, or you need something to pull from. If you don't, it's really hard to get started. I've seen people do it. I've had people ask me for advice, and I'm helping them, but I always try to tell them to keep a realistic, viewpoint, because they'll stream to maybe one or two people and feel like, well, why is it working for everyone else? But it's hard. It's hard to grow.
I feel like people's base is definitely somewhere else that they bring to Twitch.
Yes. Yeah.
No one starts organically on Twitch. I feel like.
Nah, it's. I think that's really hard. Yeah.
It's very.
YouTube is hard as well.
YouTube,
if you're going from nothing. So yeah.
Bro.
I mean, podcasting's the same thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't think we were. Maybe like the first 2 years, I don't think we got like any fucking traction, like barely anything.
With like it was basically the at the time the little following I had with like, guys, we're doing a podcast, come listen. Maybe like 20 guys would listen weekly, basically. Maybe. And
I remember like the first day an episode hit like 80 listens in a week, and I was like, what the fuck?
I remember that. Yeah.
How?
Fucking brilliant.
Like, and that was like wild. I was like, 80 people listen to this fucking garbage. Like, what's wrong?
That's crazy. Season 1, right?
Yeah, it was
beautiful. Season 1 was crazy. Just spiraling wild podcasting. It was great. Wild west of podcasting, whole season 1. But then, as like it went on, even like today, I find that I'll be on the podcast. I'll be on the podcast like Instagram, and I'll get a message being like, "Oh my god, hey, the episode about I don't know, went to Kumamoto. Kumamoto was great. What did you do? Where were the One Piece statues?" And I'm like, "Oh, they were here, over here and here and here. Here's a video I made on my Instagram." And they go, "Oh, you have an Instagram?" And I'm just there like, bro, the fact the fact that you know about the podcast Instagram,
Mhm.
you know,
Which has like no followers.
this is no,
Just
and you
fucking
know who,
nobody
yeah,
follows it.
literally, exactly, you know who we are, but you just don't know that I have my own way bigger Instagram. It's crazy to me. I'm like, that is what you have discovered us through this podcast, and that blows my mind. That's crazy. But shit like that, I love that. 'Cause it means you're organically growing. But
Yeah.
it's on Twitch, that's so much harder to do. Like, you got to bring them in from somewhere, honestly.
So did you have a moment like that too, where you're
Mm.
like, oh, suddenly there's just a shitload of people.
Shit, there are people here. Yeah.
Consistently showing up.
Mm.
You're like, okay, like this is turning into something now.
Yeah, I kind of the thing that like I always have, I feel, kind of small viewership numbers, but the chat is very active.
That's what you want, yeah.
And so that's you know, as the other way around, I've seen people with like 500 plus viewers,
And
but no one's talking.
Nobody's
Yeah.
talking.
Mm.
So I think when I got to that point, because it used to in the beginning, sometimes there'd be like an hour or 2 hours with like just no chat, and so I'm just talking to myself and telling stories.
Oh, dude,
Yes.
I feel you there. Like I
Yeah.
stream occasionally on YouTube and just like dead silence.
Yeah. So
okay.
I think.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think when I stopped having to do that, or when I drive, I have the TTS. I have the voice reading.
Okay, yeah.
When there've been times where I couldn't talk because it was talking so much. Because
Oh,
yeah, so I'm like, hey guys, can you just put an exclamation point in front and it won't read
I'm
it?
going to die. I need to be paying attention to the street.
So it was more of a subtle thing, I think. Like just gradually, I got to a point where, I noticed that it was always pretty active, and I think that's it's been great. I did a subathon recently, my first time.
Nice.
And I didn't expect it to go very long because I'm a small, content creator.
Mm.
But I set just in case, I set a week limit and we hit it. So
Oh, wow.
it was like a very successful, very like, and a lot of people came in who hadn't been for a while. Like, hey, I just want to say nice things and support. It
That's
was-
nice.
So that was a big moment for
So
me.
can
I
you
think.
explain like what a subathon is?
Sure.
Because I always see
Oh,
like
yeah,
people
yeah.
talking about it, and I'm like, is this like the thing where like, oh, we're gonna raise money, like some Girl Guide cookies type shit? Like that's
Hell yeah,
the
bro.
image I have just based off the name in my head. So like, what does that actually entail?
So I said everyone does them kind of differently, but I set up one of my mods helped me set up a system where if anybody subbed, which is like the monthly membership, or donated anything or cheered bits, it's like
Right.
monopoly money for Twitch.
Twitch.
Yeah. Then it would automatically extend the timer. So I started with 8 hours, and then
Okay.
so every basically 100 yen for a minute, and would kind of keep it going. And so I just set different activities for the week. If we make it this far, one thing for my channel is I always wear a white hat. I got like 7 of these, and so
The same one?
yeah, they're the
Just
same
one for
one.
each day.
Yeah, one for each day of the week. Yeah,
Fuck
exactly. It just started because when I started YouTube, I figured if I wore a hat, it looks a little different. I got the kindergarten kids always, playing with their parents' iPads. I didn't want them to see me. So I was like,
true,
oh.
yeah.
And I was really lazy the first time, and I just put a hat on and did the video, and I was like, it just became a thing. So I would take it off, which I never do, if we made it to the whole week. And I'd also shave my beard. And we shaved, I did like a vote. I had the Hulk Hogan mustache for like a solid hour or something.
Nice.
And then I
Nice,
shaved it
nice.
all off. Yeah. So I just had like different goals to
Okay.
achieve. And then, we hit that limit. And I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. Oh my
Yeah.
god. It's little things like having like a really active community. I've always said is better than having like a shit ton of followers.
Yeah.
It's
I
like-
agree.
It's way better, honestly. I know there's a lot of like,
Someone says it's amazing how you keep your hat so white.
I bleached
Bro,
them.
it is-
I do. Yeah.
you bleach them.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's honestly impressive.
What would you would think that would be obvious, right? Just the easiest way to make something white is stick it in bleach.
No. He's got a special bleaching technique he does. Lost to time to keep that shiny white, bro.
It's kind of true. I soak it in bleach. I soak them all in bleach, right? And then I take a hotel toothbrush or something, and I like actually scrub it, and then
Fucking
I
hell.
run it through the washer. So
Fuck yeah, no.
Yeah.
Did you
That
take
doesn't wreck the brim.
no, somehow it's fine. Yeah,
Did you take better cares of your hat than I do my house? That's ridiculous.
it's probably true.
No, 100%.
I've seen his house. It is true.
Get fucked. It's true though.
I mean, now especially after.
Yeah,
burnt
caught on
down.
fire, so get fucked. It's whatever. Now it's gonna be good. I'm moving back soon. I'm very excited for it. Should be good. But yeah, that's insane. Like as I was saying, it's better to have like a very active community than have like a lot of followers. I know from the work I do, we work on the back end a lot, so we see like how many followers someone has, but we also see like how active their community is.
Yeah.
And the amount of times we're like, wow, this person has 1.3 bajillion followers on Instagram. You're like, wow. But you're scrolling and you're like, none of their likes are turned on. None of their, like, you can't see their views. Their comments are okay, but for 1.6 bajillion followers, that's kind of sussy. So you, like, get their like, the background information so you can, like, send it to the client. And you're like, oh, this is trash. You basically have, like, barely 100,000 real followers. Like, all your followers are probably real. They're probably very real, but they're not active.
They don't care enough to interact with anything.
Right.
For whatever reason they're following you, you're probably now not doing the thing anymore. So now, like, your following has kind of, in a sense, died.
I always wonder that too. Like, Instagram is especially like ephemeral, where it's like, okay, if I posted a picture and then someone followed me immediately after that picture, like, are they actually going to do anything else if I post something else? Like, if I never ever see that person like another post or something, they're still following me, but they're not doing anything. So, like, that metric to me is kind of meaningless.
It's important to some extent, depending on how much you're doing and how much you are engaging with the profile itself to engage your followers. I think a lot of these followers is like, there's a lot of people I follow that I just don't see on my feed anymore because I've not been engaging in their content, because they're not updating enough for the algorithm gods to push them in front of me. So I just don't see them anymore. And then when I eventually see them, I'm like, I was following you? Completely forgot about that. Then you see what they're doing. I see an update, and then I'll make a decision. I'll be like, okay, should I keep following this person or not? And then you decide, like, yes or no. Which is why I think it's important to, like, constantly be sort of engaging with followers. Like, I say my followers, I call them, like, my stalkers lovingly, because the base is strong. I have, like, a base of, like, 3,000, 4,000 strong followers that will always be, like, commenting or liking or, like, doing something, engaging with my content. And I'm like, these are my boys. I'm making content for you 4,000 people only. You guys, I love you guys. But stuff like that. I think it's very important to have, like, a very active, engaging following. You said, cross-legging, you said that you stream for 12 hours.
Yeah, yesterday I streamed for 10, and I felt that was kind of short. But yeah, 12,
bro,
short,
how
12.
is that short?
Fucking day. The sun's only out for like 15.
Yeah, but you know, and I always get this comment a lot because it's crazy. Like they'll see like the 15-hour mark. They're like, are you serious? You're still going? So I'll drive somewhere, I'll bike somewhere, I'll come back home to my studio, and I'll still be streaming at like 2
Bro, if I can
a.m.,
have a full night's rest and you're still going, that's wild.
That's wild.
It happens. People are like, hey, I went to sleep, and now I'm back. Now I'm waking up for work, and
I'm
you're
ready
still
to go
streaming.
again.
And you're still streaming. Dude, that's fucking sick.
I mean, one, I really enjoy it. Long before I did streaming or YouTube, I was already doing this stuff. I love travel. Once I got a license in a car, I was doing all this, like, you know, sleeping in parking lots and traveling around different places like
sick,
that.
yeah.
That's kind of what I just enjoy anyways. So I would be doing it regardless of content. So now I have a camera on when I'm doing it, and because there's viewers from all over the world, it's like I want to be able to hit all the time zones for them.
It's true. Nice. Yeah, 100%.
Because you'll see it, like there'll be a sudden dip when you know, maybe it's getting late in the States, but then the people like in Europe start coming on. So then it's really nice to have that. Yeah. It's a different conversation, different engagement. But I also want to provide the opportunity for you if anybody wants to come in, like, and just have a chat. I always encourage them, hey, if you're having a bad day, hopefully, you know,
I'm streaming. Yeah, you can
just come chat. Like, hopefully you feel better.
To be fair, that's really good actually, especially when streaming from like Japan. The time zone is so different from like Japan to America. It's like Europe. Yeah, it's hard to hit those demographics unless you're streaming at like a really weird time.
Europe, it's almost the exact opposite, right? Like, it'd be like morning here. It's the exact same hour, but nighttime.
Yes, depending on where it is, for sure. And, you know, I'm from California. Nice. It's like a 16 to 17 hour time difference.
Yeah, I know that, dude. Trying to like set up Zoom meetings.
Trying to talk to my family.
Bro, how do you even?
Not as often as I should.
Right?
Sadly,
It's so hard.
I'm the same way. If I'm going to play games with my friends back home, I'll play with them for like an hour, and they're like, okay, it's like 1 a.m. I got to go to bed. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's like 9 in the morning here.
Literally, The times you have to wake up to organize things is really weird. I think my aunt was having like a surprise birthday Zoom meeting during the pandemic.
Mhm.
And they're like, John, we've scheduled it for like 7 p.m. UK time or something like that. And I'm like, great, that's 4 a.m. Japan time.
Yeah.
I'll get up for it, but I'll be very tired.
But I won't like it.
Will not like it. Everyone's drinking wine. I'm like, I'm drinking coffee, guys. I have work in 3 hours. Like, I have shit to do. But yeah, it was a whole thing.
For me, something I find like really hard streaming is streaming for a long time and keeping the stream entertaining.
Yeah.
So when you're telling me that you're doing like 15-hour streams, 12-hour streams, like how are you keeping that interesting? Like obviously like the minute to minute thing you need to be doing is like at least somewhat interesting so people just don't see and then just
dip straight away. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm 41 years old. I've had a crazy life. Lots of stories to tell. Like, and 16 years in Japan, and people are very interested.
It's pretty
I've hired, I've fired, I've run school, I've done board meetings at Japanese companies, things like that. Like, so I have a lot of experience. So if there's a dip, I just start talking about, my life. But like I said, these days it's more interacting and just talking with the chat. And so if there's sort of like a time when it gets a little quiet, then I'll just start telling stories, and then from that it kind of jumps into other things. But also, there's the world around me. If I go to a cool restaurant and show the restaurant, show the food that they have there,
true,
order some stuff, and if I'm driving, I have pretty bad ADHD, so it actually helps because I just notice things all the time and I get distracted. So even from my own story, holy crap. But I mean, like if I'm biking, it's really easy, or walking, it's really easy to stop and like check out this sign or check out this thing, and and there's just a lot of content.
Right, you can't just exactly pull a Yui in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like, that looked cool.
Japan is, I've always, it's like content haven. There's a lot of like really cool content here that people can like
especially
get consumed
walking.
in.
Like I feel like if you drive a car too much or ride a train too much, you miss so much shit in between, even just station to station. There's so much stuff.
Yeah. As with the driving, I'll usually just drive to some point, explore it,
Get
next
out
area.
and go around,
Yeah. Or if I'm on the highway, I'll stop at rest areas and.
Rest areas are cool. People like them a lot. I don't know why.
No, because they're really neat. It's a different, the rest areas in America are
they're
terrible.
really weird. Are they really bad? They're really bad.
Yeah, I mean, the ones that I've stopped at, they're just kind of like,
Canada's the same. Yeah, it's just like here's a gas pump and like maybe a convenience store, but the convenience store is shit compared to here.
Wow, the UK ones are pretty good. It's like here's basically a mini mall. I mean, have fun, but there's like. The UK isn't that big, so there's like maybe 10 rest stops the entire to the UK. I don't know. There's not a great deal of them, but when you find one, there's always coffee and there's always like snacks.
Well, I mean, you can find coffee in any.
No, but it's good. It's pretty decent coffee. There's always like weird convenience store snacks that you'll never find at any other like store in the UK other than like this gas station in the middle of nowhere. Like there was one, we're going to my aunt's house on like Christmas fucking morning. Driving to my aunt's house. We're like, quick stop at the gas station, fill up, grab some coffee, grab some snacks. We go in and it's like, what snacks have? Oh, here's a Turkish coconut cake. And I'm like,
fuck.
That's what did I buy 3 of them? Yes. That's not the point. They were delicious. But it's like, here's some random thing you'll never see again. And I'm like, wow, this is dank. And that's it. It's like, shit like that's pretty fun. But I feel like that same element is in Japan, but like times by like 50.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot of times they'll have local goods and stuff. So
I love the local goods. Oh my god, when you see like the farmers markets, like the gas station things, I'm always like, can I buy an entire watermelon right now? Will this be a problem? It always is. Oh, you got to wait.
Yeah, so
go for it.
We'll come back with Luke in a second. We have to do our mandated break for cross promotion, but we'll be back in like 30 seconds.
See you in a bit.
Alex, hi, I'm Ray. How would you explain our show, No More Whoppers?
Are you a nerd having trouble transitioning from your 20s to 30s to 40s and beyond? Age with us, not at us.
I'm already gray.
Are you tired of the man keeping you down? If you see something, say something. Do you enjoy the family computer? Capsule computing. We got them all. No more Whoppers. We outlived the queen. She said it couldn't be done.
No, I'm fading.
Come back. I can't do this alone. Do you enjoy number munchers? And is numbers what you call
Then listen to No More Whoppers.
Only on the Tokyo Beat Network.
And we're back. Welcome back, guys. Thanks. I like that ad read a lot. It's really good.
I do too.
It's a really good ad read. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Let's talk about traveling. You said that you like traveling and that, no matter if you're streaming or not, you'd be traveling.
Yeah.
Me and David, we also enjoy traveling. We also enjoy shitting on various Japanese prefectures when called for. When called for. Do you have a top 3 prefectures you've been to? Like you've been there and you're like, this is 10 out of 10. These are my top 3. Do you have any?
Yeah.
What's your number 3? Let's go 3 to 1.
No one ever asked number 3. They asked
I know,
number
right?
1.
I know, right?
smart.
I want the ranking.
What's the third worst best one?
What's the what's bronze? What's
Nobody gives a shit about bronze. That's like the runner-up medal, right?
I know, right?
It's tough. It's tough.
It is.
To put on like a third place.
If you want to reverse and go 1, 2, 3, that's perfectly okay as well.
Okay.
Give me a number 1. What's the
number
best?
1, Ishikawa.
Ishikawa.
Yeah.
Ishikawa?
Ishikawa. Yeah. I specifically like the Noto Peninsula.
Oh, I love the Noto Peninsula.
And it's crazy because
Yes.
most people I mention this to will be like, no, I've never been there or never heard of it. Even Japanese people are like, oh, that's in Ishikawa, right?
Bro, it's so
I've
good.
never been.
It's really good.
The highway's free.
Yep.
Lots of beautiful sights. There's tons of Michinoekis, which
Is
is where
that
I
going to
sleep.
change though? Because they're putting in like fucking more toll shit.
I hope not.
recently.
I don't
think
think
it's
so.
kind of low income, so I don't
Yeah.
I don't see them
I
doing
gotcha.
that. Yeah.
They want people to come visit, so they're like, come,
Yeah.
use the highways, get as far up and down as you can in
Yeah,
the entire
yeah.
peninsula, basically. It makes sense, honestly. Like when you go to like an area that's more like countryside, seaside area, the easier it is for me to get as far out as possible,
Yeah.
the easier I'm gonna go as far as possible.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Shit like that. And Noto is so fucking nice. My God, good choice. Is that the city with a giant squid? They spent their
They
COVID
do have
money.
some up. Oh yeah, they have that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's where it is. Okay.
I
Spent like $1
Is that-
million on a giant squid, right? Or
Is
something
it
crazy.
in-
genius.
Is it in Kanazawa in
No,
Ishikawa?
Kanazawa is
Is-
in Ishikawa.
Mm.
It's just
No,
like
I'm talking about specifically about.
it's very
specifically.
close.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like every time I go to Noto, there's a beach you can drive on, and you can just pull up and like, yeah,
With the really dense sand,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yep.
Chiriyama. Yeah, it's I like that place a lot. So yeah, we'll pull up, I'll like back in, us, and then our trunk is kind of like it goes like it's a pretty massive door. So
Yeah.
it goes, it's like our shade. Like
Oh, that's so nice.
chairs under it, tie our dogs to it and stuff
Oh,
like that,
that's
so they can run
good.
around and dig and stuff. Yeah.
Man, Noto, honestly, like,
Noto's awesome.
it's honestly, it's really good. Like, I did not think that was gonna come as your number 1. Like that really threw me.
Oh yeah.
But no,
yeah.
I agree. It's a beautiful prefecture, honestly.
And Kanazawa is one of the coolest places I feel for what you can see in one city area.
Mm-hmm,
You can spend 5 days there and not get bored. There's
Yep.
ninja houses, samurai
Yep.
houses, an old
Yep.
garden, beautiful castle.
amazing castle.
The
oh my
wooden
God.
like the streets, like the really cool old school streets.
They have everything there. It's so
yeah.
good.
So like I think people pass it by too much. It's like Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka.
We've
Like,
discussed. Yes.
Just go to Kanazawa. You can see so much. You don't need a car. You don't need anything.
Yeah.
Just bullet train goes right there.
The
right?
silly thing as well, the bullet train from like Tokyo to Kanazawa is like nothing.
Yeah.
It's like 3 or I think 4,000 yen or something like that. Maybe,
I've only
maybe a
driven
little
there, but
more.
it's
I
not
forget.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
not bad at all. Honestly, it's pretty
To go
affordable.
from Tokyo?
Yeah.
That's fucking cheap.
I'm gonna look up the exact price right now, but it's very cheap. Like I remember.
Hang on. I got a computer right here.
Thanks, bro. Look it up. Jamie, can you look that for me? Jamie.
Sure can.
Thanks, man. Normally David's girlfriend's in the other room when we're recording,
Yeah.
and he started calling her Jamie. So we'll be like saying something about like we'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. Last week David went to eat what was it, chestnuts? And his girlfriend be like, it was walnuts. I'm like, thanks, Jamie. You just hear like, not Jamie. So fucking cute. It's hilarious, dude. Jamie, get that off for me. How much is the Jamie for Kanazawa to Tokyo?
This looks like it's local train, so I will have to look at Shinkansen. Here we go. Specifically from Shin-Yokohama.
Yeah, whatever. That's cool.
It's 15,670.
It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. I was off by a little bit. It's
So
not bad.
about 150
$100.
bucks.
But there's
It's
also
not bad. Like
It's not
like
bad.
all things considering, like 150 bucks. If you're gonna like fly there on a plane, it'd be like double
Even the
that
highway
price.
fees are pretty high. I think.
Yeah. So like okay, so I'm looking here. I can easily look up how much it's gonna cost you in a car.
I have the thing.
Oh, they don't have the toll numbers. That's weird.
It's kind of a pain sometimes to look it up. That's always the fun when I go to the gate and I see how much it costs. It's like, oh, that wasn't bad, or oh man, that
like,
sucks.
no, my mortgage.
You 5,000 yen. No.
You're on a lot. Like looking at the directions, you're on a lot of toll.
Yeah.
There's at least like 20 toll roads.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Okay, so I literally did a video about this and I'm trying to find it. So, there's a Shinkansen pass that literally takes you. I think it's the. Is it the loop or the wide or the?
I know there is one because I watched that video. There
Yeah,
is
I
some
found
kind
it.
Of a pass
It's
that gets you there
The
cheap.
the Hokuriku Arch Pass basically takes you from Tokyo all the way to Osaka, but you loop past Kanazawa, and it is about Niman and a little bit. Niman Yonsen.
That's not bad. You
It's
go to
round trip.
Kanazawa and then go
To Osaka.
to Osaka.
7 days consecutive travel, bro. That's not bad. That exactly. So you
Can you get off along the way?
Yeah.
So
Anywhere
if you
you want.
wanted to stop in like, I don't know why you'd want to do this, but if you want to stop in like Shiga or something, you could.
let me read you all the. It goes Tokyo to obviously Omiya, Kurizawa, Nagano, Juetsu, whatever that station is, Itoko, Toyama, zoops all the way down to Kanazawa, Fukui, Kyoto, Osaka, Nara, Kobe, ever. It zoops all the way around.
Wow. Okay.
It's-
you could make like a good trip out of that. if
I
you
have
can get off
I've
wherever
always
you
said
get
like,
off.
oh, it also has. Hold on, there you go. You can also travel around the Tokyo metropolitan area. It has like local trains as well, like
Oh, wow,
in
okay.
Tokyo.
It's really
That's
good.
Bro,
for-
it's
for-
one of the.
and that's for 7 days. It's active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's
Yeah.
dude, Niman.
Niman.
Fuck, that might actually be cheaper to buy that and
It
just
is.
use it in Tokyo as much as you want.
It is. That's what I said. It's
Honestly.
like
man.
Niman
That's crazy.
It's like, I'm
Yonsen or
thinking
something
like,
like that.
okay, if I'm going to fucking Shibuya and back
Yeah.
from here,
Yeah.
that's like $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've already paid for 5%
5% of it, yeah.
one trip.
I'm looking at it
That's
now.
pretty good.
So there's a little like a more like nitty gritty. You can see more of where you can go, but the Komukai version of it, it takes you all the way from Kanazawa. You can go straight up to like Wakarosen or something like that. Himi. Yeah, that's right. So basically, it zoops from Kanazawa like all the like the countryside regions as well. Like it is.
Like Akita and stuff.
Yeah, not that far. Like you're going across to Kanazawa, then like it goes up to like the countryside areas of like Kanazawa,
okay, I
basically.
see,
Yeah.
I see. Just up on that kind of
Up on the ledge. Yeah. It's one of my favorite passes. Like I'm always saying that if you want to travel like different areas of Japan, one, go watch my video because it has literally all the passes on it, and then two, go to Kanazawa. Kanazawa's fucking sick. Good number one. Not bad.
The whole Hokuriku area is just like
beautiful.
huge for me. If you've ever driven it, it's like a nice highway.
It is. Yeah.
Kind of a funny story though. And do you drive at all, or you've just been in cars a lot?
I've been in cars a lot for work. But
Yeah,
I don't
so-
drive.
So typically like highways around here, it doesn't really matter what lane you're in, but if you want to go in the faster lane, it's the right lane, right?
Mm.
So when I went to Hokuriku the first time, I guessed, and I didn't know this, but you're only meant to use the fast lane to pass, and so you shouldn't stay in it. So I was in it,
Oh no.
and somebody was driving right behind me, so I tried to get out of the way for them, and they followed me. And it happened maybe like 10 times, and so I thought, like, what is like the mafia after me or something?
Oh.
It turns out though that they if I'm in that fast lane,
Yeah.
they want to follow me because I'll be the one that gets in trouble. So they'll just keep going along behind me.
Oh.
And if the cops come, they're gonna pull me over. So then, because they're technically trying to pass another car.
Oh my
So,
god.
I don't. It happened so many times that first trip, and it really freaked me out. I'm like, oh, you can go ahead and pass, and then they pull up behind me. So I go back into the fast lane, and they follow me, and it was just so weird. Yeah.
That's so fucking.
So I guess that's kind of a
funny.
Hokuriku area thing.
Weird.
Bro, that is some
I was
crime
freaking out.
shit.
Yeah, I would freak out too because that would be fucking weird. Like every time
Holy
you
Yeah.
go into a
shit.
different lane, they immediately change behind you.
Yeah, because they're like,
Yeah.
now we can all speed up together. This
I was like,
this
is it my
guy's taking the
Kawaguchi
hit.
license plate? Are these guys just after me or what? Like, I didn't understand what was happening.
They were like, we found him, boys.
yeah.
This is the guy streaming all of our secrets. Take him out.
Yeah.
Take him out in Hokuriku. When the
Yeah.
police aren't doing shit, clearly. Fuck's sake.
So you've been streaming for 3 years ish.
Two
yeah,
a
years.
little over 2. Yeah.
I want to know what is the wildest shit you've ever seen, like
While
just
streaming.
not even while streaming, just like in general. I guess you can take that 15 years, 16 years of time as well, because I know I've seen some weird shit. And I haven't been here that long. So if you've been here an extra decade, I know you've seen some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I always wonder about this because I stream so much and I never capture like the crazy stuff except the earthquake, that one That was on stream. That was up in Noto actually.
Dude, that was
It was
crazy.
30 kilometers from the epicenter, so we got hit
Jesus.
pretty hard. Yeah.
Jeez, holy shit.
Yeah, we were right by the ocean too, so we were kind of panicking a
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, because if it was on the other side of the peninsula,
Mm.
but it was offshore, so it could have had a
Yeah,
had a tsunami. Yeah. Yeah, I was here for the big earthquakes. That was crazy. It felt like the ground. I don't know. It's really hard to explain this, but it felt like the ground was moving completely. Like I felt like I was surfing using the ground. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like I felt like we were actually going across the planet. It was so
No
weird. Yeah.
way.
Because it's like the ground is like literally moving so much underneath you that you're like staying in place and it's just sliding back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Fuck,
So I honestly thought like Japan was done. Like
Wow, it was that
Is
bad?
that bad? Where were you
Shit.
when it happened? Were you in Tokyo?
I was in Saitama.
Oh shit.
Kind of an area that's fairly safe compared like for earthquakes, and it was still nuts. The cars were shaking,
Holy shit.
buildings were swaying, stuff fell off of one of the buildings next to us, and like just fell off. Like just you heard metal just falling, and and it just kept going. Like it didn't.
It
didn't
was long, right?
It was really long. Yeah. And then. So all the trains stopped and everything was like crazy.
I heard about
But
that. Yeah.
I had skateboarded to work. I didn't live too far from work at the time, so I had this longboard. It's about 48 inches long. It's
Good man.
it's a massive
Good man.
It's like a surfboard.
It's like a double grip one.
No, it's it's like completely flat.
Wow.
7
Holy
ply
shit, dude.
thing can be run over by a car and it's fine.
Oh hell yeah.
I've had it for like 20 years.
Shit, dude.
But anyways, so I'm like, well, I guess I can get back. And everyone else was struggling. I know
Yep.
one guy who had to bike from Saitama to Chiba. He borrowed an old momentary and
Jesus.
yeah, it took him like 6-7 hours or
Yeah, of
something like that. And it was like, it had flat tires and things.
Oh,
He just like,
dude.
So my poor wife had gone, she'd been working so hard and doing all this stuff. So she took a day off that day. And she, no. She was in
no?
Kamakura. And so she ended up at like an evacuation center.
Oh no.
And it took her. She had to catch like 5 different cabs back. The cabs didn't want to go all the way too far because they were afraid they weren't going to get gas or they weren't. Gonna,
Yeah.
they weren't going to be able to get back.
They get stuck in some kind of like,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
trying to get out.
So she kind of this little like it was I think it was like 5 cabs it took
Jesus
for her to get back,
Christ.
and very expensive. But
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
From Kamakura. Oh,
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Meanwhile, I was skateboarding, and people were giving me dirty looks because like I'm just out there like
Yeah, of
like,
course.
like-
Yeah, of course.
it's a disaster time, and I'm just this jerk skateboarding around. I'm like, no, I'm just trying to get home.
Mina Gamba.
Yeah. I got so many dirty looks.
He's doing like fucking ollies and shit. Everyone's
Yeah.
like huffing it home. I heard the same story from one of my old lecturers in university in Japan. He was saying the same. He was talking about how he was here for the earthquake, and he was like how he had to basically walk from Tokyo to where he was currently living in Yokohama, and he's like everyone had to walk basically. He's
Yeah.
like everyone had to walk home. There was no trains, but some people like didn't want to reside to the fact that they now had to walk home. So it was like people just like waiting outside stations for like hours, just like just chilling, just like eventually the trains will start, and it's like no, then they're not gonna start. We just got to start walking. So he was like people were like lost, and this was like before the days of when everyone just had like a charger like in their hand.
Right.
So he was like, I had a shitty phone. My phone died, but it's fine. I knew the way to walk home. So he was just like walking home, like freeballing it. But he's like, people did not know where the fuck to go. Like
Yeah.
He was like,
we just
Dude, I
never-
can imagine
yeah.
that.
ridiculous. He was the one who installed the lesson of like know how to walk home. Like if your phone
From anywhere.
from anywhere, he's like just know how to walk home. Just know the general direction of where you live,
Yeah.
so you can like walk home if you need to. And like,
Follow the train line.
bro, I'll just follow the chill line. It's a straight line. It's an easy clap to get home, honestly.
There you go.
But dude, terrifying times, honestly. Fuck that. Glad you. Glad you're okay, dude. That's
Yeah, no, it was. I have this weird thing. Other than the one in Noto, I actually I like earthquakes. It's weird.
I get that. It helps
I'm
me
like-
sleep. It soothes me.
No, I mean I just get excited. I'm like, hey, something's happening. I wonder,
Right.
But then
Content.
Yeah.
Let's fucking
No,
go.
no, no,
yeah.
no. Even before any of that, like I just like, oh, cool, it's an earthquake. But then seeing in the news like what happened, like further north, I was like, okay, well, it wasn't very fun. That's kind of crazy. But I don't know. I feel like I should have way more stories. Somehow, like the crazy stuff doesn't really happen to me. I don't know.
you don't want the crazy stuff, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe that's true.
You want it to be as chill as possible, I would say. Like, the crazy stuff in my mind is always like, I've met an interesting person, I've done some weird stuff, I've gone on like a stupid adventure. For me, like, that's good crazy stuff.
Yeah,
like,
that's
true.
true.
That's what I want. What I don't want is like, did you hear about the story when we were first or second year living in Japan, and someone didn't lock their doors at nighttime, and someone like just came into their apartment? Did you hear about that?
Who was this?
This was in Kanagawa.
Okay.
So
But, like who did it
I have no
happen
idea
to?
who. I have no idea. No, they wouldn't release names, but so we're in this AOT meeting back when we were like teaching, and one of our like managers gets up and she's like, "Hey guys, listen, lock your fucking doors. I get it's Japan, I get it's safe. Maybe some of you are used to going home to like auto locking accommodations, but most of you don't have that. So like lock your doors as you go in, because person A woke up like 3 days ago to just a man standing in her room."
Yeah,
What the fuck?
we had it happen at our school, one of the schools I worked at. It's just like
Terrifying.
no. I mean, it was an old man, and I think he had dementia or something.
Yeah, I think same here.
Maybe he used to work in that building or something a long time ago. So he just came in and sat down, and I'm like, is this a new student? And then the staff talked to him, and he's completely like lost.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I'm from America. I lock my doors anywhere I go.
Bro,
Yeah.
so I'm from the UK, so crime happens. I'm locking them
Yeah,
doors, bro.
yeah.
Like I've never like lied in my bed and thought to myself, oh my god, did I lock my doors?
No, it's
I
not
know
even a
I've
thought,
locked my
yeah.
doors. They're fucking double bolted, and I've put
See, I
like
never
2x4s
had that
on
problem
it.
back home.
Canada?
No, you just leave it open.
The snow protects
Motherfucker
you.
will freeze before he gets to my door.
It's true. David lives in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Oh,
See,
there you go.
I need that.
Pretty
I need more
Well,
natural like.
to be fair, after the axe murder, people started locking their doors.
Huh?
Yeah.
It was
Did
an
I tell
axe.
this story about the guy who got axe murdered in like the alley behind my house?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Fuck.
yeah. After that, you start locking your door.
I would honestly, yeah.
I'm always surprised the newer housing. You know, like when we got our house 7 years ago, right? And every window has 3 possible
the
like
flip lock.
yeah. So there's the flip lock, and that can also be locked.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
there's
yeah,
another. You know the notch you push down, and it
Yes.
pops up to
Yeah,
stop
yeah.
the window from opening far enough for so
Stick a stick in it as well, so you can't slide it open.
yeah.
kinda
It's
thing.
so every window we have in our house has like 3 safety devices like that,
Jesus.
and then the doors too, like double locks, and yeah, it's kind of crazy like how much security the houses have, and it's not really necessary, I don't think.
Nah, but I like it though.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
We use it all.
Yeah, I might as well. I've got it. I've
Yeah.
paid for it. I might as well fucking
Right,
use it. Like
right.
honestly, that's fun. I think living in Japan for like 16 years, you're gonna see like some wild shit. You're gonna see some insane stuff. But I think my question is, I'm diving back to travel because I love travel content. Have you been to every prefecture?
No. Oddly enough, and this always I want to go this year, but I've never been to Hokkaido.
Hokkaido's one of the best
I know.
It's so good.
But I'm trying to do that. So I never went to Kyushu until last year, and I drove down there, and
Kyushu's
I did like each prefecture, some kind of adventure, and so this year I'm trying to go north and do more of that stuff. You know, and now
Bruh.
should be good temperature now.
You're going to. Hokkaido is so good. I've only been in the winter, and I had the bestest of times. It was amazing. But I always felt like if I didn't live in Tokyo, I kind of want to live in Kyushu. But if not Kyushu,
Kyushu's
Hokkaido.
nice.
I
Yeah.
love, dude. Kyushu's
great.
we're all gonna eventually end up in Kyushu. Like everyone. It's so nice down
Yeah.
there.
I mean, if I was gonna retire somewhere in Japan, it would be in Kyushu for sure.
Same. No,
100%.
100%. I'm retiring in Kyushu. I need to. It's gonna be sick. I
Houses
want
cheap,
houses are cheap.
beaches closed.
Beach-
And drinks are cheap.
Drinks
too.
are cheap. Food is good. I can walk to the airport. It's so close. You can walk to the airport. It's
Yeah.
such a nice in
Yeah, it's
Fukuoka. That
nice.
is. It's such a nice city. Like I want to live just outside the city of Fukuoka. One of my friends currently lives in Fukuoka. She bought a house, like a little bit outside the city. And I was like, oh my god, how is it getting into the city? Is it difficult? She's like, bro, it's like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the train."
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
you're quote outside the city, but the city's right there.
Yeah.
Like it's so stupid. But the area she lives in, it looks like she's like 50 miles outside the city. But she's like, no,
Unlike
she's down the
here,
road.
where outside of the city is still the fucking city.
Bro, you can't get outside the
You
city
can't,
in Tokyo.
Pretty much.
Fuck's
Go take a
sake.
train for an hour and a half.
Literally, where I live like pretty West Tokyo. Like Koganeshi is like pretty West Tokyo, and everyone's like, "Oh, how is that? Is it pretty countryside?" I'm like, bro, there are tall buildings and towers and shopping malls and new developments and shit. Like it's the city. Like
Yeah.
it's just the city. Like, I mean, I love the city. Don't get me wrong, I'm in London. I love it. LA, right? LA. So you also,
San Diego.
San Diego. There we go.
That's Southern California. Yeah.
There we go. So you must also love the city.
Yeah. I like where we ended up getting our place because it was all kind of farmland.
That's
The government
nice.
bought it out and sold it to developers.
Oh shit.
So like when we moved in, there weren't a lot of houses, and now it's all like really nice.
They built everything around.
Yeah,
it.
there's bamboo forests and parks, but there's still all the city stuff too, and yeah, it's like and then wide streets and the main streets have like the the sidewalk, but the pedestrian sidewalk, but also the bike sidewalk path. Like parking everywhere is free, so I drive like a lot too, and it feels like being back home. Yeah,
That's so nice.
I was freaking out around here. Like I was trying to find a parking lot, and I got stuck in this road, and I'm backing up. Like yeah, like
Yokohama's a fucking mess.
So
especially up
I
on
like
the
I
hill.
like the newer areas where they kind of actually planned the
Yes.
city a bit
No,
better.
yeah. I agree.
so-
I agree. Japan it falls to the or what's the word? Not the fault per se, but because the city is pretty old, it's not been built in a way that makes sense in a lot of
Right,
places.
yeah.
So like, especially like when you go to a big already constructed like sort of a urban hub like Tokyo or Shinjuku or like Shibuya or something like that, because people live in those areas. So when you go to those areas and you're walking around, you're like, I get people live here. Where the fuck do they live? Because it's like this is chaos.
Yeah, I had friends in uni who they were like, I live in Shibuya, and I'm like,
Where?
Where do you live?
Where do you
live
live?
in fucking 109? Like, where do you live?
You live under the Toriki? Where the fuck do you live?
Yeah,
This makes
'cause, like,
no
there's-
sense.
You get out of like Shibuya Station, it's just fucking shopping area.
Yeah.
For like 3 kilometers.
Yeah.
In every direction.
My friend lives, okay, this always gets me. She lives 5 minutes away from Shibuya Station. And I'm like,
Yeah,
where do you live? And she's like, what do you mean where? I'm like, where? Where is 5 minutes from Shibuya Station? And she's like, oh, that's right. You weren't like people born and not born and raised in, like these areas. They have no idea where like the small residential hubs are. And I'm like, yeah, none. I'm like, where do
I
you live?
can't think of it.
She won't tell me. She will not tell me. It has been 2
She's
years.
loaded and she lives in like a fucking penthouse.
Bro,
somewhere.
no, she would tell me that. She would. I would go and visit that fucking
she'd
penthouse.
flex. She'd be
Bro,
like,
she'd flex
"Guess
so
what?"
hard. Nah, she just lives like a like her old like a Jika base like with her family, and she's just like, no, I live in like a house, just a house, and that alone is blunt. I'm like, where is there an old style Jika in Shibuya? There's not. There can't
I agree,
be.
Dan. 5 minutes from Shibuya Station is still Shibuya Station.
It's still Shibuya Station. I've just gone from fucking Inogashia to Toyoko-sen. That's all I've done.
I've walked across the street to the Starbucks.
I've gone from station to literally the Toriki. That's it. That's 5 minutes. Dude, absolutely insane. So I agree. I really like a nice like new build area. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, it's great. I love where we live.
16 years, you have a house. Is this it? Are you going to be in Japan forever and ever and ever?
I don't know.
Damn.
I mean, the way I look at it, like
5
years ago, I didn't know I would have a YouTube channel,
That's true.
and I didn't know I'd be live streaming. I remember someone asking me if I wanted to do live streaming when I first started YouTube, suggesting it, and I'm just like, you mean an unedited video? I can't edit out my mistakes. Like, why the hell would I do that? Like,
Yeah.
Camera.
yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah. Do you know how many takes it takes for me to get through like one introduction? Like I screw it up all the time. Like how you want me to be doing that? And like if everyone sees my screw ups,
So good. Yeah.
But yeah, so I kind of figure like, we never know what direction we're gonna head,
true,
you know.
yeah.
And so I just try to keep an open mind. My wife and I both love Hawaii a lot, but it's an expensive place to
it
live.
is.
Hawaii is nice because it's kind of in between Japan and San Diego in a sense, right? Like I'd be able to see my family a lot more often because it's like like a 5-hour flight to San Diego from Hawaii or less. And also be able to come back to Japan.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much farther to Japan either. It's like 6 or 7.
But direct flight, it's like 8 or 9.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit.
Closer than the UK.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
close. It's not bad at all.
They started direct flights. I forget when. When I first came here, there was no direct to San Diego, and then they started just about the time that we got married. I think.
Holy shit.
This is gonna be 10 years married. Married.
Bro.
Coming up.
Fuck, congratulations.
Yeah.
Any big plans for the 10 year? Fuck
10
me.
year. No, I've got I got some time. Got October. I gotta come up with some good ideas.
Oh, you got plenty of time. Ask the chat to plan your 10th anniversary. That's what I would do.
Well, the thing is, my wife watches my streams too, so
Oh
I gotta
shit!
be careful.
That
Dang.
would work, Ben.
You gotta give her like a 1 week ban just to
Yeah, don't come into chat.
put her on timeout for a week. It's like
That's
we
right.
gotta
Well,
talk
don't
about some
worry about
private
it.
stuff for like
Yeah.
a week. You need to not watch for a little bit. Flip it out. That's adorable, man.
As far as like streams go,
Mm.
do you like kind of plan out where you're going per se? Like more or less, like something if you're gonna go, okay, I'm gonna go to this station and then just walk around. Are you much more like, okay, I'm going to this place, this place, this, and then I've made like a path that I'm gonna go A to B to C.
It varies. So I think roughly. So I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I try to do some kind of trip-ish on Mondays. It's a good time because it's usually the weekend for a lot of people.
Right.
Like still Sunday.
That makes
So-
sense.
Sunday,
Yeah.
right?
So I try to do some kind of big trip. At least a different prefecture or somewhere deeper in Saitama. And then I'll generally have like a little closer one, like maybe biking around Tokyo. And I don't always have a goal. Sometimes I just get on a bike and go and, I kind of want to go to Odaiba, but we'll see what we get up to along the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes another creator will message me, will be like, "Hey, I'm in the same area. Do you want to hang out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's get lunch." Like,
Oh, there
it's
you go. Yeah.
just- it just kind of happens like that, and I like it. I like the randomness of it.
I think that's better
So
though.
speaking of that, do you get like stream sniped at all? Like that is a thing that happens to people. I don't know how.
I
often
see.
it happens.
This is where I when I first started content creation, like I really wanted to grow a massive channel and be famous, blah blah blah. But I'm really loving the being a small channel actually because I don't have to worry about that stuff. Like if somebody's, I've had viewers come find me, but they'll tell me in chat, like. And you'll be like, "Hey, I'm down the road. Can I come hang out?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Right.
sure."
That's nice. I like that.
I've been just like a couple times somebody came up and was like, "Oh, hey, I watch your streams," like took a picture with me or something. But
That's nice.
but they were always respectful. Like,
Yeah,
can I take a photo? Cool. And then they'd like take off. Nobody's really made me uncomfortable or like tracked me down. So then I started to appreciate it because once you get to a certain level, that kind of stuff happens all the time, right? And then you can't really.
Yeah.
You have to be a lot more careful and
Yep.
like I was streaming at my hotel. Like maybe I should wear like technically I shouldn't show my room because someone could call or do something, but
Oh, that's right.
but
Yeah.
like
feel
I
that.
just I have a good community and I don't really have to worry about those things. So it hasn't been a problem for me.
Like that's super important. Building up like a nice community of like cool guys.
They're
to
very
chill with.
very good people. Yeah.
I've been in the chat a couple times. I know these guys are pretty cool. Like there are a couple Twitch streamers that I like to jump in the chat and hang out for a bit, and I'm always like, your community's fun, they're really good. Emma, Tokyo Traveler, her community's great as well. They're really chill people. Like
Yeah.
I like those communities. I think they're really like it feels friendly. It feels good.
Yeah.
Like everyone's having a good time. This is great.
It's very weird to me when someone does something that's just like kind of heinous, like hunts you down. Like I've definitely heard that happen to other people.
Oh yeah.
And like to me, it's just like, why the like why?
Why?
Like why?
Why have you done this?
That's
Why?
the only question I could really ask. Like why? Like why would you do that?
It makes it hard for like everyone to live in like a sort of a normal life. I know I'm friends with a bunch of like bigger like streamers and influencers like YouTubers and stuff, and a lot of them have to delay stories and uploads and posts and like they'll go do a thing, but they can't talk about it because if they do, someone's gonna find where they are or do something weird. So like
Right,
it's
'cause you
really
can't be
annoying.
like, oh, okay, I'm going to this place on a Tuesday.
Nope.
Because the second you do that,
Yep.
someone's gonna be waiting at that
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
place. If
100%,
you're
yeah.
like a big enough creator, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you have to already have been there for like an hour, 2 hours, and then be like, okay, I'm here.
A day or two normally.
Even that long, huh?
Yeah. Normally it's a day.
Well, if you're live streaming, I don't know how you're gonna
Live streaming, you're fucked.
Do
You just-
that.
you just
You're
gotta do it,
kinda-
basically.
Yeah, you're kind of just hosed, I think.
Yeah. Good man.
It's happened to Kaho a few times, right?
Yeah.
It has. Yeah. I've seen that.
So that's the other thing is like, I feel that happens more often to female creators.
Yes. No. Yes. it
That's
does.
where they're
Yeah.
the ones that get the really stocky kind of weird people. I think because my wife and I stream together a lot, and she's very obviously married, she doesn't get those kind of creeps, luckily. So
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
yeah,
That's what's up.
it's a interesting thing, right? Because some people want to appear single, whether they're not, or
I've been
how
yes,
very
yes,
Japanese.
yes, not good, very bad.
Yeah.
There's a what do you call it? A streamer? No, she's a YouTuber I know that I think she's now married to this guy, and she'd make like these videos about like Japanese, like dating in Japan. And so I forgot her name. Her name is right there. I can't remember it. She's really cool, really nice. I met her like once before. Anyway, but then she went to the UK or America to live, and then got like a boyfriend and now a husband. Posts online, it's like, hey, I've got married. It's my husband. We're gonna have a kid soon. Yay, yay! And she was like, I'm losing followers. Like I'm currently, she wasn't hiding the fact that she was like had a boyfriend or
Right.
husband, but like still, she'd cultivated like this weird following of like weirdos.
Fucking parasocial Andes, man. Like,
Bro, parasocial Andy is the worst Andes, honestly.
But
like,
it's good because the people that are leaving the channel are
That's
the
what
people
are
you
the
don't want
people who
anyway.
that's
Yeah,
what I
creepy,
said. That's
right?
Yeah,
yes. I said the exact same thing. I was like, you don't want them there. Like
Yeah.
honestly, it's like when people like are unfollowing your page, like you find like someone isn't like really interacting with your stuff. You'd rather them unfollow you than like stay on your
Dan
page.
says, was her name Asagi?
Yes, thank you, Dan. You legend, good man. This is why I love Dan. Dan in the chat, I feel so secure like every time.
He just knows.
He just fucking love this kid. Thanks, Dan. Love Dan. Dan's like one of our always in the chat, always providing excellent commentary. When he comes to Japan, we owe him bevies. It's gonna be
Nice.
fun. Cannot wait for the boy to come. It's gonna be fucking sick, honestly. Anyway, I digress. Yes, it was like indeed, dude. That's crazy. But yeah, I agree. Getting those like people out of your community is better for the whole community, honestly.
Yeah,
Absolute
yeah.
fucking legend, honestly.
I don't like having to ban someone or time
No,
them out,
yeah,
but
yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
it's weird too. Sometimes you get someone in the chat
Mm.
who's really nice and friendly and great, and then one day they just say something super racist and
Bro!
like, and you're
Mm.
like really like they'll say some comment about Hitler not being wrong or something, and you're like, okay, you are banned.
You need a.
But like
yeah.
it's out of nowhere too,
Yeah.
But we don't really tolerate like hate and that
You
kind of
shouldn't.
stuff.
No, of
so
course not.
You
Of course
shouldn't.
not.
Yeah,
No,
you shouldn't have to,
No.
right? Like that's.
No. That's like an instant no for me.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Even
100%.
even towards other viewers and stuff like that. Just
You can't.
just having like
Yeah.
saying bad things or being hateful. I just said we don't do that.
You
know?
can't. We don't do that
Yeah,
here. Like,
not my thing.
no. Once again, it is all about having that nice, smooth community that people can just because it looks bad on you as a creator as well,
Yeah,
and then it looks bad on people coming in to the community. Like, imagine I just jump in. I'm like, oh, this looks like an interesting chat. It's a walk around Japan thing. I'm gonna jump in, and I jump in. The first thing I see is Hitler did nothing wrong. I'm like,
Right,
whoa,
right.
this is
not
not
the
my
place for me.
community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and,
You're
then,
gonna
and
dip.
then if you let that stuff slide, you start to cultivate that.
Yes, no, exactly.
Because people
Yeah.
think it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen
yeah.
that where a chat gets so toxic. It's like, and then it's kind of hard. Once it's gone that direction, it's kind of hard to.
You can't
go-
pull it back.
Yeah.
Well, right, because then
Cannot
people
put
are
it
like,
back.
well, it was fine on Friday, and
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
it's not. It's
exactly.
like, well, no, it wasn't fine on Friday. I just didn't fucking catch you at that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you gotta get them active mods to just fucking,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Smash that shit down,
The ban hammer.
bro. The bad hammer's swift and just. Honestly, do you have any So obviously you're a streamer. Do you watch stream? Are you watching different Twitch streams as well? Do you have any Twitch streams or like?
I try to when I can, or the thing is, like, I have. Maybe you understand this too. Like, I have a lot of creator friends, both on YouTube and Twitch. I can't watch. I don't have enough time in the day to watch everybody's video. I get people asking me like, "Did you watch my video?" And I'm like, "I'm so sorry, but I just don't have. I don't have that kind of time. Literally, if I was to watch all my friends' videos, I would be watching YouTube like 24/7.
24 hours, 24/7.
Like I just physically can't do it. That's why when people say I haven't watched your video, sorry I haven't watched your video, I'm like, it's fine. Like
You're
I'm
busy.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
Watch it if you can, but don't worry about it. I don't judge.
Bro.
Like yeah.
When I post like a video, same thing. I'm like, oh, I made this video, guys. Watch it if you have time. I'm talking to like my followers, my fans, the people who like need
That
the
wanna
content.
watch
Yeah,
that.
that want to
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
talking to like my other creator people who are like, I've been editing for 10 hours today, and now I'm gonna watch 10 hours of YouTube. Like I
Right,
know you
right.
don't have time for that. Like it's
yeah.
very difficult.
So I never bug people about it. My
Same.
friends, but some of my friends will ask me about it. Like, have you watched my stream lately or watched the video? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm really sorry. I haven't had a chance.
I don't have any
to."
time. Yeah.
But
honestly.
the times where I would be when I'm on the train
Oh yeah, same.
or in the bath.
Yeah, that's what I do. Come
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
smart play, dude.
Yeah.
Best ways to catch up. Like on the way here, I was like catching with videos and stuff
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
I was like, all right, this is like the only time I have, so might as well get it done, basically.
I feel like I've fallen off a lot since like not having an hour trip to work and back.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
Like,
hard.
I would listen to specifically
Everything.
podcasts
Yep.
every fucking day. I'd
Yep.
probably, in a week, I'd listen to like 20, 30 episodes of
Oh,
podcasts.
yeah.
I think maybe in the past like 3 months, I've listened to like 4.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. I would normally put like a long podcast on if I'm like playing a game or something, but because I now have like more time that I'm just like making content now instead, I'm like, oh, I'll play a little bit of Zelda, but I'm like, but that video really has to be edited.
Yeah.
And then you just
Yeah.
end up doing that instead, and you're like, oh man, I want to not do this. Yeah.
It's taken me some time, but I'm finally getting more organized with my life. But there was for
Good
the
man.
longest time was just this guilty feeling anytime you're doing something that's not productive for your brand. So like any time I want to enjoy my own time, I feel guilty. Like, oh, I really should be making a post or
Yeah.
or editing or something. So now I've kind of scheduled my time better, so I can have days where I can just relax
Yep.
and not like eat myself up about it. You know,
It's
like,
it's important. Yeah. Honestly.
it's hard when you know, it's like owning a business, right? In a sense, you know, like you kind of work all the time.
Yeah.
I definitely spend more time working on my brand now than I was working when I was full time.
100%. Yeah.
But I love it. I love what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
yeah,
But and so I'm trying to move away from that guilt and into like, all right, here's some set time to get things done. I'll be productive then, you know, and just kind of it's just taking so much time to build that balance.
It's hard,
Yeah.
honestly. I think because I worked in that industry, the balance comes in a sense sort of pre-built for you. It's like if you don't do this, the content you're going to put out will be bad, and if it's bad, it's not like, oh no, I made a bad video. It's the client's pissed.
Yeah.
So the stakes are higher, so you have
Yeah.
no choice but to rest when you can and then
Right.
work when you need to, basically.
Well,
So
yeah, I've heard from Ian some of the stories of the videos.
I love you
Like,
so much.
yeah, Ian's the best.
Crazy shit behind the scenes.
We'll,
and all
we'll
this, yeah.
hopefully get Ian on here.
But yeah, when
sent,
he's
sent me a
back.
message back, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not in the country.
He's in the UK. He's in the UK already. Yeah.
I'll get back to you." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, take your time.
I would love to get you on again.
I did. I have a podcast. Although I've only done like 4 episodes, but the last one was with him, and
Legend.
yeah, he's great. I've known him for more than 12 years. So.
Fucking
Yeah,
hell.
I was one of his first friends in Japan.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, that's right. That's how
Yeah.
Ian introduced me to you. I
yeah,
think something
yeah,
like
one
that.
of his oldest friends.
So
That's-
how did you meet Ian then?
Yeah,
Just-
yeah.
So it's kind of so this is long before he was in the creative stuff. He was like just doing web development for other companies. So my coworker was living in a share house, and he was very involved with share houses. Like he used to live in them, and then he started working for a company that had a bunch of them, and
Shared
he
them,
started. He
yeah.
was like the go-to tour guide for a lot of
How's this?
like
idea?
yeah. But like he was the go-to Gaijin share house guy. So if somebody applied for the share house, they would be like, Ian, go take care of this.
Ian, quick, do a vibe check.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, they were in the same share house and just karaoke one night.
Oh, hell yeah.
He showed up. He started singing Karma Chameleon.
Oh, good man. Good
But
man.
we, you know, after that, him and another Japanese friend, like the 3 of us, we all like playing instruments. So we'd go get a studio and jam.
Oh, that's fun.
We would just do these nights. These chibi nights. So we'd have like bar hopping, eating a little bit, drinking a little bit each place. So that was like until COVID, we were doing that all the time. And then
Dude.
we stopped for a while, and now we're kind of getting back into it. But yeah, it's just like kind
Same.
of crazy. Yeah,
That was me and David for the longest time as well. We do a podcast. We'll go out and get bevs, go get eat. We'll go like go to Shibuya, end up finding like tiny bars there, drinking there, going somewhere else, eat there. David's drunk. I was like, David's gonna get home. I gotta get home. Dude, those were really fun times. Like that was like
That's
up.
why I wanted to restart.
Yeah, let's do
back
it.
Up. Like
Dude, I love that
every
shit.
Friday night, just going out to like somewhere and just
Some
walk
random
around
bar.
and
Yeah,
going to see shit.
we'll extend the invitation as well if you wanna.
absolutely.
Hell yeah, dude,
let me know.
bevies, dude. I love that shit. There's a bunch of new tiny bars I want to go to, so I'm definitely gonna be excited for that. Fuck yeah, dude. Man, I love Japan. You can't do this shit so easily in the UK. It makes me really happy that I live here, honestly.
It's so
Right?
it's very
It's good.
unique to hear, to be able to do that kind
It
of
is.
thing where you can just go, like
Yeah.
just have a night, go somewhere new,
Mm.
and just bang, 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 and
Yep.
it's like
Meet cool
you don't even-
people.
you don't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
have,
yeah,
like, the fucking street block, and you'll have like a fucking adventure, and it's like, okay, do you want to go down to the other side of this street now?
Fuck yeah. Yeah, literally.
Sure.
It's really, really cool. Like, very safe as well. I don't got to worry about, like, oh no, what if I get stabbed and or robbed? Like, it's chill. I can do whatever
In the
I want.
last month, I dropped my wallet when I was biking with about Gomon in it.
What?
And it was returned by the time I biked back to it was in Akabane. By the time I biked back there, it had already been returned to the police, and the person
Fucking
didn't
hell.
even want reward or anything. Just said no name, it's fine.
Oh shit! They're just like, hey, someone's
Yeah,
wallet.
yeah, but they messed with me. They were like, they asked me all these questions. They were grilling me, and then
Classic.
they're like, "You don't have any ID, do you?" I was like, "Actually, I've got pictures of all my identification." And I showed
Yeah.
it was on an app, and he was like, "They're like, what? Oh, yeah, okay." So I was about to leave, and they're, "Oh yeah, here, this is your wallet, by the way." And I was, "Can you just? Why didn't you tell me in the beginning?"
Just give me the wallet.
yeah, yeah.
Fucking typical.
It was like an
police bullshit.
hour of
Classic,
not
bro.
an hour, maybe like 20 minutes of questions, or like, what credit cards do you have?
Because they're bored.
Yeah, I guess there was like 3 people asking. Too,
Oh yeah, of course they're bored. Yeah,
they were totally
yeah.
bored.
Yeah, I think I found one wallet. I was like on the way to it's at my local station. I'm going to the station. I found a wallet. I'm like fuck, I can't leave this. Like, I got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I got to now bring it to the the call. Luckily, right across the thing. So I'm like, hey, someone dropped a wallet. Here you go. And they're like, oh, where did you find the wallet? I'm like, I gotta get a train. It was over there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Can you just? No, I'm fine. I gotta go.
Yeah.
One
I
more
didn't know
question.
you could do that, but you can opt out, right?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, no, I gotta go. They're
Yeah.
like, oh, but I gotta go. I was like, my train's in 2 minutes. He's like, height. I'm like, height. And I'm bouncing. Man was bored. I could tell. He was like, oh, wow.
No, I've heard
friend.
people like fucking do the exact same thing, like go to hand it in to the police, and the police are like, "Did you take money from it? Where did you find it? Did you steal this from some?" It's like,
Bro,
it's like,
yeah.
What are you talking? Like, I'm
You just
turning
got a
this
bike
in,
by
right?
and like
It's like
chuck it in.
Bro, yeah. I'm just gonna start frisbeeing wallets into
Right.
the fucking comedy as I pass. Just fucking, there you go.
It is very weird getting the fucking 20 questions treatment.
Yeah.
When you're trying to,
Do the right
be a good
thing.
Samaritan. It's like, dude, what
Listen,
the fuck?
I do the right thing maybe 3 times a week. That's it. That's my hard limit. Then I'm like, well, I gotta do something bad to maintain the balance. So if you're out here fucking around being like, oh, did you steal the wallet? Did you take any money from it, bro? Fuck you. I have a giant afro.
Why would I return a wallet I stole?
What would I return? I stole. I would just steal it and put it on the floor. Like, it doesn't make
Exactly,
sense.
yeah.
Fucking idiot. So stupid. Also, I'm the only foreigner living in like my city basically, and I'm the only guy that have a giant afro. If I did some crime,
That's probably true.
yes, very easy to find me if I did some crime. It'd be like, oh, who stole? Oh, I was mugged. Who mugged me? It's about this high. Had an afro. Oh, it's Jordan. I know him and his address. He always drinks over there in that wine bar. All right, let's go pick him up. Like,
Yeah.
fucking case with the easiest slam dunk in Coleman history, and they'd probably still find a way to fuck it up. I guarantee you.
Have you been stopped and
All the time,
had-
yeah.
Really?
I have,
okay.
yeah.
They love
only
stopping me.
once for me. I got
Oh, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually funny because they saw the once they saw the permanent resident. So if you have permanent resident, it's like all asterisks
Gold.
at the bottom.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's like no expiration date.
Fuck
So they were like kind of confused at first.
Yeah,
and
of
then
course.
Like, oh, are you a permanent resident? I'm like, yeah, they were like, oh, I'm so sorry for questioning you. And I'm like, they were like apologizing to me. I'm like, no, I see you questioning Japanese people too. Obviously, something happened around here. It's fine, you know.
Man's doing dog geza. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I apologize.
You're a permanent resident.
You've jumped through all the hoops we have laid. We have
Yeah.
no more challenges for you, sir. I apologize. I kind of like to fuck with the police sometimes. Like, they stop me a lot when I'm like, if I'm going home or like wearing something like crazy, like gaudy. I was wearing this like Teddy Fresh crazy block design jumper, like these check pants, these crazy like Timberland like esque shoes. Went to go out to like do something. Went to go out to like McDonald's on the train, like one stop for me. McDonald's was closed. Damn them forever. But as I'm coming back, police were like, hey, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I live here, what the fuck, bro. Then begins like their 20 question thing, and I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Why are you stopping me? What is this about? Like, do you have ID? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. They're like, oh, can we see this? Do you have this? Do you have any drugs? And I'm like, why are you stopping me? What do you want? And they go, the guy fucked up. He goes, there are reports in the area of someone matching your description who did crime. And I go, there have been reports of a man with an afro with a limited edition that you can't buy anywhere. You can only buy this shit online. Teddy Fresh jumper, check pants. These fucking weird ass shoes. That report, bro, show me that report. I'm like, if that report exists, I need to see it. That's crazy.
Yeah,
He's
damn.
like, oh,
It's
getting,
extremely specific.
bro. He's like, getting a copy might take some time. I was like, I'll wait.
Yeah.
I live one station away. I'll wait. Suddenly, there's no need to stop me. Suddenly, I can go on my way. Suddenly, it's all A-okay. And I'm like, wow, look at that. Look at that, you fucking idiots.
I knew this one guy. He would get stopped all the time. He actually started carrying a little card around.
That's so funny.
It's like, I know my rights. Like, it's all the Japanese. And
No
like, it was
way.
like, he just hands him the card. Like, you don't have a reason to stop me. I'm tired because he got tired of being stopped.
No, I
He was
get
just
it. That
like-
makes sense. Yeah.
He was like a very dark Indian guy. He'd wear I mean American, but like Indian descent.
Descent,
and, you know,
yeah.
like, and he'd wear a suit going into a building, and they thought that was suspicious somehow. Like Indian in a suit? No, that's weird.
Bruh, the fucking racism is strong. Japanese police are fucked.
Was that,
bro.
I'm quarter Indian, but like I look more Mexican than anything. So I don't think they can't profile me because they don't really know what I am. You know.
You stun locked them.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. So I don't have that problem, but he would, you know, it's crazy because we were like from the same area, but same country, but he would get stopped like constantly.
Bro, yeah, classic. It's a that's why when I see things online where it's like, no, Japan isn't no, they don't racial profile people. I'm like, bro, you've clearly never been here. Like they
yeah, that kind of stuff is just like super ignorant. It's like, yeah, you're a tourist.
you're a tourist. Like you're just like, wow, the Japanese police, whoa, they've come to say hello, and it's like, no, they're asking for your IDs.
Yeah.
Wow, can we picture? Okay, let's take a photo with this guy. Wow, can I wear your hat? And it's
Pretty
like
much.
these aren't fucking. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I get that. You know, I got a lot of the same kind of questions on the Reddit streams because a lot of those people hadn't seen any content in Japan. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
time they're
yeah,
seeing it because
yeah.
they're just browsing Reddit and it's like, oh, Japanese street sign. Well, what is this, right? And they would ask, you know, I hear that there's a lot of racism, or I hear that you know, all this stuff, and I would just say the same thing. I say personally, I haven't had issues really. Like, it's been fine for me, but I've heard the stories from other people, and yeah, I think it's just. A lot of times I think we were talking about this on stream the other day, but a lot of times like they don't even mean it in a negative way, but it's just like it's like a naivety, I guess. Or
Yeah.
Naivety?
It's
Naivety, sorry.
naivety and
That's
boredom.
the word
I
I'm
think
trying
that's
to
how
think
you pronounce it.
of. Yeah, probably.
Naivete and boredom.
And yeah, just like not ignorance, but like just not really understanding some of the stuff they say or do.
Yeah, the ignorance.
How?
Because like they don't understand like the optics, right? Because if you were a Japanese person, there'd be absolutely no problem if they stopped you, right?
Yeah.
Like if literally the only thing that changed was your race to Japanese and they stopped you, there'd be literally no problem.
Yeah.
But because
Depending on
Yeah,
what you look like.
obvious.
If you're an everyday, you're just like Tanaka-san in a suit going
Right.
to like your company, none. But if you're like, slightly alternative, look, my hair is spiky, I have tattoo.
Right, exactly.
Now we're getting to the areas basically. I think I always say that it's ignorance, but it's ignorance by choice. I always say because like especially in Kanagawa where I worked, you've never seen a black person before. So like for example, one of my teachers said some fucking ignorant shit to me, and I was like, there are several black students in this school. There are 2 that have graduated that were in the year before. How do I know that? Because I teach them in the junior high school. You've been working here for that long, so black students have come and gone. You've met their parents. At least one of the 2 parents are black. You can't be this stupid. Like I'm not the first black person you've ever met. This isn't rural China. We're in Kanagawa. Tokyo is down the fucking road. Like it's not a case where you can go, I didn't know. It's like, yes, you did. And I'm gonna take a photo of your face. And if you do it again, I'm gonna beat you up in the dead of night. So don't fuck around. It's stuff like that basically. It's like you know. Like stop it. Don't be stupid. You're trying to be funny. You're trying to do something. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I don't like you. You need to stop. Was the speech I had against one of my teachers, and she stood there like, I was like, yeah, you fucking whisper, sumimasen, dickhead. Coach was just there like, just reading his newspaper. Me and the coach were drinking buddies, so I was like, untouchable. Coach just like, he told you.
See, that's the power move. You get in with Kocho Sensei, and you're basically untouchable.
They put me next to Kocho Sensei in one of the school nomikais to be like, get a drink with the Kocho Sensei. Big mistake. Me and the Kocho Sensei both love wine. And it became like a thing. He's like, oh, Jordan, do you drink wine? I'm like, yeah, I love wine. I was like, Merlot, like a 97 Merlot, France. He's like, oh, that's one of the best. I love that. I'm like, yeah. It's like, it's heavy. It makes it heavy. He's like, yeah, it's heavy. It's a heavy Merlot. It's oh my gosh. He's like, fuck this shit. He like pushes like the fucking shit wine we're drinking aside. He's like, wait, we'll have the 98, 97 Merlot. Give us a bottle. That's for us to share. Now we're just drinking off the menu wine for the entire night. Became buddies. That was it.
That's good.
Every Friday. Jordan, plans after work? I'm like, do we have plans after work? And that was it. Like now we're drinking. But anyway, yeah, I think it's definitely. Sometimes it's like ignorance. Like sometimes it's they just don't know. You're up in the mountains of Akita. How they gonna know? How they gonna know?
Yeah.
One of my friends said to me recently that he was the first foreigner his wife's mother had ever met. and I thought that was crazy. I was like, that's ridiculous. She lives like
I've had that
Yeah.
situation before.
literally, yeah.
Like, I went up with my ex-girlfriend to like the mountains in Shizuoka. Like just like their house was like at the end of the road on the mountain.
Beautiful. Yes, yes.
And she's
Love
like, yeah, there's people up here who've probably like never seen a foreigner ever.
Oh yeah.
And like the dude down the street driving in his fucking like K truck comes up and he's like,
Bro, yes,
I'm like,
yes.
They're like
Hi?
crashing cars. So they're like, oh my god,
It's like,
Yes.
what the fuck?
this guy is so white. Didn't know that existed.
One guy in the country. I remember one guy almost crashed his fucking bike because he was rubbernecking so hard at me in like the countryside of like Kyushu or some shit. He's like looking full 180 while he's like on the bike still, and I'm like, yo, bro, look, you're gonna crash and die,
That's
bro.
the thing. Like a lot of areas of Japan are still like very
Oh yeah.
insulated
Mhm,
like that,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Because people who come here
Mm.
just don't leave the big three, right?
No,
They
they
just
don't.
stay in those cities. They don't leave.
Yeah.
Where I think it's good that like people like you, Luke, go and show people like there's other shit here. That's
So
cool.
so
go
important,
and
yeah.
look at it.
It's really important, honestly. Yeah, you're doing the Lord's work, I must say. Especially for Abe, God rest his soul, because that's what he wanted. He wanted people to like travel to other areas of Japan for tourist money to spread out. But because people don't know where to go, a lot of it's just like, oh, I guess I'll just go to Osaka.
It's always cool when people add places that I visit to their list.
That's what you
And,
want.
or like they
That's-
actually go there and they tell me like I went and visited that spot you were,
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
checking out, that restaurant you were checking out.
Dude.
I have my Nomadic Gaijin stickers and I put them all around Japan.
Oh,
too.
that's
So,
nice.
like,
Yeah.
The idea is to find them when they travel.
Oh, we gotta get stickers. That's such a good idea.
I had stickers. We had.
It's
Oh shit, we
um,
do. Let's use them.
Yeah,
That's
they're
great.
pretty cheap and easy to get. Yeah, if you already got them. Yeah, it's I never start off like a sticker thing because I feel like I don't want to be the first one to do it. But there's a lot of places. In
Oh,
Japan where
there's
there's
already
tons-
stickers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it when one of those. I feel like I'm committing a crime if I just put a sticker in like a random spot. I don't know.
You just go to Ginkgo because you just like bang, fucking Nomadic Gaijin. Let's go. Fuck yeah, that's so
But
good.
yeah, I don't know. Those little things are fun.
Dude, I agree. That's fucking beautiful. David, any final questions, comments, concerns?
Um,
Anything with the audience?
I mean, again, like I'm sure the second that the podcast goes on,
100%.
we'll have like 8 questions.
Yes.
Ah, fuck. I should
Yep.
ask, but
Yep.
That's the way it works.
We'll have you
right?
back on, Luke.
No.
Absolute fucking pleasure.
Anytime, let me
I
know.
could. I have more questions that I want to ask about traveling, but we can have an entire episode about that, and I think
Yeah.
that'd be cool. Luke, where can the people find you?
Everything Nomadic Gaijin, Twitch, YouTube. My
You heard it.
podcast is the Content Crush.
I like that.
People crushing their content.
That's fucking good.
Yeah.
Actually, I should jump on an episode.
I
was meant to
assume-
jump
I
on an
assume
episode.
given your Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you will be live sometime tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go, boys.
Typically I start around 10 or 11 a.m. and then midnight 1.
Jesus.
Sometimes it's like
Man, I'm sleeping.
Man, I'm asleep. That's crazy.
Yep.
You heard it, guys. Nomadic Gaijin everywhere. All of his links will be in the description of the podcast and the description of the YouTube live stream. We will see you guys in the next episode. Oh man, it's gonna be Saturday.
Right, it's weird because this is on a Tuesday episode, which usually doesn't happen.
Oh, my brain is melting. We'll see you on next week.
No, we'll see you this week again.
We'll see you this week again. Until then, bye, guys. It's so weird. This week again? No, we'll release this episode on Saturday.